Up next, the winners of the 2025 Collard Green Cook-Off, Miss Keisha's Kitchen and Mama Tree of Treetop Groves Farms, plus the duo behind the audio engineers of Detroit, Michael and Robin Kinney, join Authentically Detroit. But first, we're introducing a new segment with Alex B. Hill of Detroitography called Detroit by the Numbers. Keep it locked. Authentically Detroit starts after these messages. Have you ever dreamed of being on the airwaves? Well, the Authentically Detroit Podcast Network is here to make those dreams come true. Formerly known as the Deep Network and located inside the Stoudemire, the Authentically Detroit Podcast Network offers studio space and production staff to help get your idea off of the ground. Just visit authenticallydet.com and send a request through the contact page. Hey, y'all, it's Orlando. We just want to let you know that the views and opinions expressed during this podcast episode are those of the co-hosts and guests and not their sponsoring institutions. Now, let's start the show. Hello, Detroit and the world. Welcome to another episode of Authentically Detroit, broadcasting live from Detroit's East Side at the Stoudemire inside of the East Side Community Network headquarters. I'm Orlando Bailey.
And I'm Donna Givens-Davidson.
Thank you for listening in and supporting our efforts to build a platform of authentic voices for real people in the city of Detroit. We want you to like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast on all platforms. We will have a full house today. We're so happy to have the winner of the 2025 Collard Green Cook-Off and also the husband and wife duo behind the audio engineers of Detroit to discuss their partnership with Ferris State University. We're also happy to premiere our new monthly segment called Detroit by the Numbers with our friend Alex Hill of Detroitography. Welcome to Authentically Detroit once again, everybody. Donna Givens-Davidson. It's Monday. How is this blessed day finding you?
Oh, it's good. It's been a good day. You know, it's a little rainy and dark outside, but
it's a little moody.
This time of year is very exciting for a person such as myself because the campaign finance statements came out on Friday, and I'm like looking at all that information. And Alex, I know you've been looking at those numbers, or I'm guessing you have.
Yes.
Hi, Alex Hill. Welcome back to Authentically Detroit.
Thank you.
What do you have to say about those campaign finance numbers and the people, the names behind them?
Man,
what are you
there's
noticing?
some interesting names.
It's some interesting names. Anything standing out for you?
I haven't dug in super deep, but I did catch Malachi did a quick map, and you can really see that. I call it the northwesternly pattern of Detroit.
Oh yeah,
it kind of follows the lodge, and that's where those donors in Detroit are following along too.
And Samuel L. Jackson gave to Mary Sheffield.
You said his name wrong. It's Samuel Jackson. That's how we say it.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I need to be...
No. Oh, so he's on there. He gave to Mary Sheffield.
There's another person in Hollywood. She got a couple of Hollywood people
Go ahead.
giving to her. You know, Greg Mathis is supporting her campaign.
Greg Mathis is supporting her.
And I think he brought in some Hollywood money.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is actually
Durhall's
campaign.
Yeah, tell us more.
Durhall filed late. And but his campaign seems to have a lot of developer ties, a lot of, he has a lot of big money donors, not as many small donors, although he does have names that I recognize. Mm-hmm. But he has, it feels like a lot of real estate developers. Mm-hmm. Did you look at Durhall's number? And then, of course, he has the chamber PAC.
Yeah. No, I did not get the opportunity to look at the numbers yet. And so I am saving that for this evening. It's going to be a treat to myself. I cannot wait. It really is one of the most wonderful times of the year because you get to see where alliances are, where allegiances are, and who's sort of cozying up to whom and why. Like you also get to see who's maxing out contributions and stuff like that, which is always interesting as well.
It is. Probably the interesting thing for me is also that I feel like a lot of my peers, people Black women around my age and Black whatever, a lot of them are supporting Santil.
Yeah.
Santil seems to have I'm still calling myself middle-aged group, captured. But, Mary has an interesting group as well. What I thought was interesting is earlier today, we had some students come in for our summer youth employment program. We have a mini internship. And so we were watching the documentary Land Grab.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really interesting years later. But what's most interesting is that Santil Jenkins is featured in there as one of the people she was the president of the city council at the time. And some of her statements are just downright interesting. I wonder if people remember some of her stances at that time.
Where were they?
It was sort of like, well, Hans Woodlands is doing this and I don't see anybody else bringing their money to the table. And she suggested that he was getting a deal because he was going to pay $200 per lot for this land, and he wasn't going to make any money from this. And indeed, he has made $9.5 million and counting from selling the land. And so it was sort of like this wholesale support and dismissal of all of the protests from residents in the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
It just felt very dismissive to me, which is disappointing.
We have to get her back and ask her about it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
It depends on what happens in August. Next week.
Next week.
If in August she prevails, that's certainly going to be something that I think we should be asking her about. Mm-hmm. I think there was sort of also this mindset about people didn't pay their taxes, so their homes got taken. And since then, we know that it was much more complicated. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You said something that was interesting, too. You teased out the fact that a lot of folks in your age group are supporting Santil. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think that Santil is, she is very, first of all, she's closer to the age group than Mary is. And so I think that between the two of them, she seems the most mature in a lot of people's eyes. I hear that talk about experience and maturity. And, the way she speaks kind of resonates with them. Mary is young. Not as young as Kwame was when he became mayor, but, women don't get the same grace that men do in similar situations. But Mary is young. I think Mary has a lot of grassroots ties. I think that she has not kissed the right rings that people kiss to get into certain spaces. Mm-hmm. And then I think that there is the impact of her father on her image. And if you love her father, that's a good thing. But if you don't, I think that can, resonate in some of the way people respond.
Yeah. We'll be paying close attention. Remember, the absentee ballots are already out. Early voting has begun. Everybody, we are encouraging you, if you are listening to us, if you are a resident in the city of Detroit, to participate in the voting process this primary. Please, I'm begging you. If you need a ride, call me. I will take you. Please participate.
ECM will be providing rides.
Call 571-2800. Don't call me to get a ride.
Call Orlando. Let me look up your number really quick.
571-2800.
No, seriously, though, I think people need to show up. I think this myth that you showing up doesn't matter is simply wrong. And this is such an important election. We need young people out at the polls. Mm-hmm. We don't just need people my age out at the polls. Mm-hmm. The story that showed that for every one person under 30, you have 10 people over 60 voting. Mm-hmm. That's a ridiculous, number. And I think we need to change that.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about numbers, let's get to our brand new segment. Remember it, Detroit by the Numbers, right? Where we highlight significant data and numbers from this past month for Detroiters. We're here with Alex B. Hill of Detroitography and newly minted chairperson of the city's Go Data Commission. The Go Data Commissioners are a diverse group of stakeholders, including data experts, community leaders, and representatives from various sectors. We are dedicated to ensuring that the city's open data initiatives serve the needs of all residents and promote informed decision-making. Alice, congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
I feel great comfort knowing that you are in that post.
Absolutely.
I trust your science, Alex Hill.
No, thank you. I just hope we can keep keep pushing the numbers out and make them useful.
Well, let's do it
For Detroiters.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So sometimes there are numbers and data points in the news, but it's hard to know the context behind them. So let's talk about them and dig in. What numbers do you have for us this month, Alex?
Yeah, so both of you were kind of teasing our first one. Our first number for this month is 62.
62.
And that's 62% of active voters in Detroit are senior citizens or over the age of 60.
Wow, that's a large number.
That defeats my description of myself as being middle-aged.
No. Donna, you're still 37.
Griffin, mute my mic so that I can laugh boisterously, please.
Okay, yeah. So, but you were saying that Malachi Barrett broke it down.
Sort of break that down a little bit for us, Alex. 62% of active voters in Detroit are senior citizens, right?
Right. So we have a whole bunch more people in the city that are registered, but the people who actually show up to the polls are more likely to be over 60. And Malachi requested that data from the Department of Elections, so that's where we get that number. Mm-hmm. So I think to your point, that's if you're young, please get out to the polls. You can vote today at any of those early voting centers. Mm-hmm. And I've been making a plug for, we put together a new tool called votedetroit.org, mm-hmm. Where you can plug in your address and figure out what's your polling place. Mm-hmm. Did your city council district change because those got redistricted? And you can also find where your early voting centers are located.
Yeah.
Or ballot drop boxes.
Or the drop boxes if you have that.
So you guys are giving a major assist to the clerk, huh? Clerk's office.
We're trying to. If they won't do it, we'll build the tools.
Thank you.
Well, that's exactly why the Detroit documenters are a thing, because the city clerk is not, what we don't want to harp on that. So, one of the things that is, so I'm sort of seeing on the campaign trail is I'm seeing a lot of young people rally themselves behind Mary Sheffield. And I'm also seeing a contingent of young people more so in my age bracket rally themselves around Ken Locke. Do you suspect that would translate in number significantly at the polls? We're hoping so, right?
We're hoping so, but over the last few elections, that the trend of older voters coming out to vote has kind of remained steady.
Gotcha. All right.
So Mary will have to really, really get people pumped up to show up to the polls.
Yeah. One thing. Well, yeah, I don't know that that's the issue, because I think she also is winning older voters, if I'm not mistaken, but maybe not. I just think that, anyway, let me ask a question. One of the things I saw is that Ken Locke had about 2% of white voters are voting for Ken Locke. But I always have this, or supporting Ken Locke, but I always have this perception that white voters are overrepresented as well. Do we have any data that would show that that's the case?
That is a very good question. I'm not sure if that's definitely something we can dig into.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for you to dig into
because
it.
I think that income and, status plays into who votes. People who have more privilege tend to be the ones who show up at the polls. And we know that in a lot of communities, that's what we're seeing this influx of younger people. Not all of them are registered in Detroit, but influx of younger people who, have interest to protect, and differently than a lot of people who just feel as though elections don't matter to them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Alex, what's the next number?
So our next number for this month has a decimal point, 163.5. I won't make you guess that one. That's the acreage of solar neighborhoods that the city is putting in place in their phase 1 and phase 2. That's, if you put them all together, that would take up all of downtown Detroit within that kind of expressway bubble around downtown.
So you're saying from the Fisher Freeway south.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. So if you imagine that's all solar, that's what's going to start showing up in a lot of neighborhoods across the city. It's it's a massive scale. It's a really interesting investment by the city. But the only other large example we have is, there's just 10 acres of that O'Shea solar field that was installed a few years back. So this is going to have a pretty significant impact on a lot of neighborhoods.
Significant impact on neighborhoods, especially the aesthetic of neighborhoods. But I'm wondering if, this number, this investment is for the city to offset its costs, or is this also going to be an effort for residents to stop depending on the utility, or is this just the city?
It's just the city.
This is only for the city government.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, Orlando knew that. He was just giving you an opportunity. Because I think that we have to talk about it. I think it's important. I appreciate you bringing out that point, because community solar is solar that's shared by residents to reduce their energy bills and also to increase reliability. In the case, in the event that your energy goes out, you may have solar as a backup if there's a battery. In our state, community solar is not allowed by law. And so we need to do some things at the legal level in order to enable community solar. Mm-hmm. When this is described as solar, community solar, it kind of bothers me because it's solar in the community.
That's what it is. It's solar in the community.
That could
solar in the community.
Right. That could be used. And actually, a lot of people are wondering, I don't know if you have this answer, why wouldn't we put solar on top of the buildings where we're trying to reduce the energy footprint?
Yep. I asked that same question.
Keep asking.
I won't say who I was talking to. But they said, well, maybe that made too much sense. But it was, the current mayor has an effort to say they're turning blight to beauty. And it's a better story to be able to say that you're taking vacant land and putting it to a better use, than to say you're about to put solar panels on the top of all the municipal
we did Blight to
buildings.
Beauty here at ECN when I first got to ECN. Do you remember that on Mack Avenue, where we had the young people growing the flowers on Mack in front of the Pennycrest sluts, and the sidewalks were all broken. It didn't look very beautiful to me. I was like, I don't know if you can call this beauty yet. Are these solar farms going to be beautiful? Have you seen renderings which would make you think this is going to beautify a neighborhood?
I have not. That is a big open question as to what they're going to look like. And I know the neighborhoods are saying the same thing. They're saying, what are these actually going to look like? What am I going to wake up and see?
Are a ton of open questions. Got it.
We've seen O'Shea Park. We've seen O'Shea Park, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably not what I would consider beautiful. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Detroit by the numbers. Alex Hill, what's the next number?
Our next number for this month is 40. And unfortunately, that's 40 buses that went out of service in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
I think we know, DDOT, Department of Transportation, has had some trouble recently with keeping bus drivers employed and on the job. A lot of retired recently. They had a similar issue with mechanics and making sure mechanics had experience with diesel engines and things like that. But now it's just the bus fleet has gotten so old, they weren't able to put 40 buses out on the roads, and that was a major disruption in service.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How did that impact? I wonder how that impacted reliability.
Yeah.
I always think about people who have to go to school or jobs and how they're impacted. And we don't really give much grace to people who are late or don't show up because of those issues. Do you know if there's any data on the impact on on-time bus service, or do we track on-time bus service in Detroit?
I know I know it's tracked internally. I don't know if those data points make it anywhere publicly. Yeah. But I also know really early on, the mayor used to have, I think he just called it the Detroit dashboard. And the bus on-time performance was one of those metrics. But that didn't last very long. I think he did that for about a year.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
So, yeah. And I'll just, Transit Riders United has been doing a lot of advocacy around, DDOT has been making a lot of great improvements And so this was really a punch in the gut for some of those improvements that have been coming.
All right. You have one more number for us, Alex Hill. What's that number?
Yeah, final number, 26%. And this is one that comes from Outlier Media. Aaron Mondry did some great reporting on the rate of homeowners who have home insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks he cited who had this number said it was likely an undercount. And the top estimate could be as high as 41% of folks who do not have home insurance.
Wow.
Which really gets rough when we have things like those major flooding events,
major floods, or if you're in the area that has a low amount of homes insured, it's going to cost you significantly more to try to get insurance because they're looking at comps.
Exactly.
Right? Looking at
I think one of the challenges when you start talking about homeowners insurance is going to be the underwriting requirements.
Yeah.
I know that people who have roofing issues or other kind of foundation issues in their homes sometimes struggle. People who have dogs, people who live on blocks with a lot of vacancy. A lot of homes are simply uninsurable because of their location or the state of the home. And I was at a flood event that Rashida Tlaib sponsored on Friday to a press conference talking about this idea that FEMA should do a better job reimbursing people because we know a lot of people just can't get insurance and it's not fair.
Yeah.
Either we're going to hold insurers accountable, but also have you looked at the cost of insurance? Because sometimes they will insure you, but $200 a month on top of your $400 a month car insurance payment is really excessive.
Right. Absolutely. And Detroit already is a city with, I think we consider it an overburdened city when it comes to housing costs. So, adding home insurance on top of that is really
right. That's well over 30% of your income, which is what industry experts say we should not be spending over 30% of your income on housing. Alex B. Hill, this might be one of my favorite segments we've ever done. And I'm so glad, I'm serious, and I'm so glad that we will be partnering with you monthly to present Detroit by the Numbers. Alex B. Hill, everybody from Detroitography, thank you for being with us.
For all the nerds who listen,
thanks so much for having me.
This is great. I'm such a nerd. Anytime, Alex. Hey, everybody, we're going to be right back.
Data.
We're going to be right back with the winners of the Collard Green Cook-Off. Detroit 1 Million is a journalism project started by Sam Robinson that centers a generation of Michiganders growing up in a state without a city with 1 million people. Support the only independent reporter covering the 2025 Detroit mayoral race through the lens of young people. Good journalism costs. Visit Detroit1million.com to support Black independent reporting. Welcome back to Authentically Detroit, everyone. The third annual Detroit is Different Collard Green Cook-Off took place at the Samaritan Center's Wellness Center gym this past Saturday, July 26th, and it was from 2 to 6 p.m. with the theme of bringing Detroit through culture and cuisine, bridging Detroit through culture and cuisine, rather. This year's cook-off honored the city's proud legacy of urban farming, family recipes, and food as a cultural connector. Elders, youth, chefs, and growers came together for an afternoon that nourished both the body and the soul. The gathering wasn't just about whose greens taste the best. It's about passing stories, celebrating traditions, and creating community through a staple that has long been central to Black Detroit kitchens. Whether you're tasting for the first time or grew up with your grandmother's greens every Sunday, the cook-off offered a seat at the table for everyone. The Detroit that we know and love is rich in agricultural history and growing Black farming movement. This event was more than a competition. It was a conversation about culture, sustainability, and how we feed ourselves and each other. And we are here with the winner of the 2025 Collard Green Cook-Off, Chef Keisha. Welcome to Authentically
Yes.
Detroit.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my
Let me
goodness.
tell you
Yes.
something, okay? I got to be one of the judges. This was my second year being a judge, and I don't think that anybody in my 2 years of judging ever got a perfect score from the judges on stage.
Yeah. Let me just say this. I put all my coins in your thing. Oh my goodness, those greens. My husband was like, "Can you get the recipe?" I was like, "Baby, I don't know if they're gonna give us a recipe."
I started to ask her to bring
but
us
he
some.
was like, "Where can we go and buy those greens?" Your greens have a very unique kind of flavoring. Can you talk about how you put them together?
Yeah, what's the story?
I'm just going to start from saying that's the first time I've ever cooked 60 pounds of greens at one time ever in my life, and I made tons of greens. It was not an easy task, but nonetheless, great team behind me. So we just started with pretty much the basics. We set up kind of like an assembly line, removing the stems, which is very important so that you don't have bitter greens. And then the washing process, people use different things, but the washing process for me has always been natural. My grandmother, vinegar and baking soda. That was it. We rolled them up, we cut them up, and I do start with searing my turkey meat.
Okay.
And using, Mama Tree offered me some of the best produce, not only my greens, she gave me all my celery, my garlic, my onions, everything, but I have a motto I go by, which is fresh is best. So the fresher your ingredients, the better. But definitely just take your time, love the thing first, because if you're not doing that and you're just rushing through there because you want to make money or you're just trying to get done quick, you're going to miss something. And if you're not taking your time and just thoroughly going through it, and this competition meant a lot to me. I wanted to be a part last year. I didn't get a chance to register in time, so I had my eye on that date. I'm like, I'm getting them next year. I'm coming out there, and I'm so glad to be a part of that.
So now yours also had something else special about them too, right? Your greens. It felt like it was more than just yours. First of all, they were cut really nicely so that you could eat
Very
them with those
important.
little spoons. Because other than that, some of them were on the floor.
There was
Your
collard green
steak,
juice
just
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, the
But-
cut is very important.
Anything else special that you did with your greens?
Only just pretty much, I don't cook my turkey meat with the greens. I make the broth outside of the greens. So once the meat is done, I remove it so that you don't have strings of turkey. I don't know if you've witnessed any of that, because that's the only thing I regret about the competition. I didn't get a chance to try the competition.
I did.
Yeah.
I tried some of the competition too. I think sometimes you're cooking in large quantities. Getting the flavor balance just right can be a challenge.
Very much.
Some people may have gone a little bit heavy on the salt. Yours were not too salty. And I'm not saying that because, listen, I'm not a cook, right? So I admire anybody who can cook, but I just thought yours were perfectly seasoned.
What's
Thank
the
you.
story? I mean, were you watching grandma growing up? Well, I mean, and are greens your specialty? How did they become your specialty? Give us the backstory.
Well, soul food for me is my thing, all of it, from the greens to the mac to the dressing, the cornbread.
Your husband Antoine is nodding his head in agreement.
Soul food is absolutely my thing. Definitely in the kitchen with my grandma, my mom, my aunts, and food for just about any family. It's the thing that brings everybody together. So on Christmas, nights my mom's up late in the night and cutting those greens and cleaning chitlins, and I'm just in there like, what can I do? I want to do
Taking
something.
up- yeah,
So-
sponge it.
Absolutely, and it was fun.
Where are your people from?
My origination of my grandmother's people is Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I felt like it was Alabama.
Yeah,
If
baby.
you're in Detroit, it's probably Alabama somewhere.
Yeah, Alabama.
We were on stage. Me and Coco were like, "This is the taste we've been looking for. This tastes like grandma greens." Because
Yeah.
everybody wanted to do some experimentation at the collard green cook-off. No knock to you, but I'm just like, this ain't really the time for that kind of like experimentation. We're looking for. I know some of the judges are always looking for like that familiarity, like that familial taste, that familial feeling, and your dish definitely brought that. Let me tell you what happened, yo. Let me tell you, because I was a little worried. I was a little worried because this chef sashayed up on the stage. She was dancing and she was giving out her greens so confidently, and I was like, I really hope the greens match the confidence that she's exuding, because it wouldn't be good if it were. And I was like, oh, you are who you think you are. I want you to know that.
Thank you very much. And he said that too. It's like that the energy of them greens better match the energy you sashay up here with. It's like, oh, they will. I'm sure. But I definitely went into the competition saying that.
Yeah.
I'm doing it the way my grandmother taught me to do it. I'm not adding peppers and all the other stuff people like to add. It's like, my grandmother never did that. So I'm not doing anything outside of what I was taught. And that's what I did. I just kept it original.
You know, when you do things with love, that's part of the soul food experience, too. You can
Yes,
taste
ma'am.
that love inside of that food. I was loving it. So do you cater?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Miss Keisha's Kitchen, LLC is a family faith-based catering company.
Faith-based, okay.
Absolutely. We operate out of a kitchen in Southfield called the Culinary Studio. And we do all event catering. Any event you can think of. We do contractual catering orders. We're currently in negotiations with contracts right now for corporate catering. And our motto is to serve souls one plate at a time, and
Well,
that's
I'm going to tell you, I'm in addition to being
To
co-host
serve
of this
souls.
of this podcast, I'm also the CEO of this organization. So this building, we serve a lot of food. We hire a lot of caterers. And Miss Keisha, you got to cater for us, because anybody who has not had your food, and all we tasted was your greens, right? But I'm looking at your husband. Your husband is saying,
Antoine is back there.
oh, okay, all right. So what other than greens? What are your specialties?
again
said
anything
soul
soulful.
Mac
but
and
we
cheese,
mac and cheese, absolutely.
yams, candy yams.
Right now, the thing that everybody is like beating down the door for right now, especially collard greens, but it's meatloaf.
Oh,
Oh, they love Miss Keisha's meatloaf.
a good meatloaf can be so good. So tell you, do you do ketchup or brown gravy? How do you do your?
Brown gravy.
Oh,
And
my
that's what I'm
favorite.
talking
That's
about.
my favorite.
That's what I'm talking
keep
about.
the ketchup away. I want that brown
I want that
gravy.
gravy.
Absolutely.
I want no ketchup. Let me ask you this final question. How does it feel to have won the collard green cook-off?
Oh my.
Because it wasn't just the judges that decided. Everybody who got a taste also put their votes with the judges. So the community
Yeah,
decided that
right.
you were the winner. How does it feel?
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't say hallelujah, thank you, Jesus enough, because it was everything. Again, I stayed original to what I was always taught, you know, and to know that everybody loved that, it just broke my heart. I feel like I won an Emmy, an Oscar, something. Yeah, that's the Oscar
You got the
soul
belt.
food for me.
You
Yes,
got the belt.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I got Colleen, the collard green queen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You know, you're on the east side of Detroit, right? And the east side is where we started in this city. We came to the east side first and then spread out. So to have that kind of cultural event on the east side of Detroit really felt special to me.
so
It's not
good.
that many times we come together just around our history and our culture,
So good.
and seeing young people in the room also enjoying. It was a
everybody.
beautiful
Everybody was
experience.
there.
Yes.
The energy was absolutely electrifying. Everybody came in there with the same goal in mind. They just wanted to eat some, what the man told me, I want some grains. I'm like, come on in. We got some greens for you, honey. We got them for
Because
you.
you're
So,
feeding the soul.
Yeah, shout out
Absolutely.
to Kari Frazier in Detroit is different. They did a great job.
We
Yes.
love Kyrie Frazier here. He's a habitual partner of ours. And so, when we talk about, we have to talk about Kyrie Frazier's role in the cultural preservation work that he's doing, because that's, he's doing a lot, but I also think that's one of the umbrellas that that is his vein, the cultural preservation of Black folks in this city and our custom, our culture, and our food. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Congratulations on being the 2025 winner of the Collard Green Cook-Off.
thank you so much. I
We'll be
appreciate it.
seeing you around. I'm
Oh,
certain.
absolutely. You guys have my contact information.
Yes,
and
I will leave a card at the front desk.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to exchange information. We'll be right back with Michael and Robin Kinney of the Audio Engineers of Detroit. Stay tuned. Interested in renting space for corporate events, meetings, conferences, social events, or resource fairs? The MASH Detroit Small Business Hub is a 6,000 square feet space available for members, residents, and businesses and organizations. To learn more about rental options at MASH Detroit, contact Nicole Perry at nperry@ecn-detroit.org or 313-331-3485. Welcome back to Authentically Detroit. Audio Engineers of Detroit, Detroit's premier audio production, recording, and training facility serving Southeast Michigan, has entered into an agreement with Ferris State University that enables AED students to receive university credit for their coursework. This partnership establishes a seamless pathway for students to pursue Ferris State's Bachelor of Science in Television and Digital Media Production degree, furthering their education and career opportunities in the audio and digital media industries. The collaboration was spearheaded by Robin Kinney, Chief Executive Officer and President of Audio Engineers of Detroit, and Glenn Akanowski. Akanowski? How you say his name, Robin? Okanowski, director of Ferris State School of Digital Media. Under the agreement, AED students will have the opportunity to apply their credits toward Ferris State's program, which boasts a history of alumni success in freelance, corporate, and governmental video production and management. Founded by husband and wife Michael and Robin Kinney in Midtown Detroit in 2021, Audio Engineers of Detroit offers a comprehensive 52-week program designed to equip students with the skills needed for a professional career in audio recording engineering and music production. The program covers everything from entry-level concepts to advanced techniques with hands-on, instructor-led training, including state-of-the-art equipment. Robin, we're so happy to have you on Authentically Detroit. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you today.
We're glad to have you. So this is really an exciting venture. AED partners with Ferris State University at a time where so many young people or older people are trying to figure out what their next career pathway is or what they want to do. And everybody seems like now wants to start a podcast, right? And so tell me how this all came about. What's the story behind the finding?
Well, okay, so we opened our doors in the summer of 2021. And even before opening our doors, myself and my husband knew that we wanted to give back to the city, our hometown that had given so much to us. And my husband and partner is an audio engineer. And throughout his 30-plus year career in the industry, he would always get questions from people of, how do I become an audio engineer? Because there isn't a straight path per se, it is a trade. And so we really wanted to concentrate on providing an affordable and accessible pathway for Detroiters to be part of a very lucrative career in audio engineering. I serve on the board for the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. And so I was at a broadcast engineering conference, and that's where I met Glenn Okanowski from Ferris State University. And so in talking, we really started talking about how can we collaborate, and Glenn and Ferris State, they have this excellent digital media production program. And we have the students down here in the Detroit area. And one of the things that we wanted to concentrate on was making a connection so that a degree in digital media production was accessible for students in the Metro Detroit area.
Yeah, and that has to mean a lot, especially for, the young folks who may be trying to figure out if college is for them. So, getting into the AED program and then having the decision, to either continue their education with credit already applied or to try to get, break into the field. But it gives young people options. Was that the vision?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. And this is just basically what we call phase one of this collaboration. Over the past 4 years, we've graduated students who've gone into different career paths, whether they start working for themselves as music producers or go on tour, work at a concert venue. By the way, we have an internship for our students at the Aretha. So they are not only getting the technical training in the classroom, but they're getting the hands-on experience in the field.
All right. Shout out to Shahida and the Right Productions at the Aretha. We love them.
Yes.
Another cultural preservationist.
Well. Okay. Right. Were they at the Aretha this past weekend? During the Kim concert?
They were not. No, they're typically earlier in the summer.
Okay.
We have students that come out, and Aretha and the whole team there has just been awesome
Yeah.
and really being patient with our students and showing them the ropes.
So now, where are these classes held?
Well, we are located at 4750 Woodward, near the intersection of Woodward and Warren, inside of the Hannon Center.
Oh,
okay. We know
Yeah.
it. We know it very well.
Yes. Okay.
And so tell us
And then-
about. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Donna.
just one more question.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you about tuition. How much does it cost to take these classes?
Sure. For a full year of classes, you're looking at about $20,000. And that was one of the barriers, I'll say, that we are working on. We're currently in the process of becoming accredited. And we know once we're accredited, students will be able to get federal funding to apply. So in the interim, we pretty much work one-on-one with our students. Again, our whole focus is about making it accessible and affordable for students.
Can you talk a little bit about the upcoming cohort that you're preparing for? The new class is starting in September, right?
Yes. So we have an open house next Monday, in fact, from 5 to 8 p.m. And people can register on our website at aedetroit.com. And our next cohort is a 52-week class. So it goes for an entire year. Our students typically meet twice a week for 3 hours per day. And again, I just want to emphasize that our instructors are Grammy-nominated producers. They are local producers, as well as people who are industry experts.
Mm-hmm.
So this cohort will start off what we call at module 1. We lay the foundation with what is sound and build upon that. And our goal is at the end of their curriculum, and they do the internship at the Aretha, that they have choices. They can decide then, do they then want to transfer credits towards the Ferris State degree, or is there a job or employer that they're looking for right now that they can transition into?
So can you talk a little bit about the career services part of this? Folks graduate, folks may need income, right away. What does the career services part look like? Are you partnering with some of the local television stations, radio stations to try to get graduates placed?
You asked that. That's a great question. Because since I serve on the MAB board, we've been able to have some partners, WDIV, we've worked with them, as well as WDET. So one of the main questions and the reason that we even was looking at extending into broadcast engineering and where the whole partnership with Ferris State came about was we started to get phone calls from local radio and television stations who were looking for broadcast engineers. Literally, this is an industry that the people who have been in it for 30, 40 years, they're retiring. They want to retire. And we need to create a pipeline for that next generation to come in and take over those jobs. So one thing that we've really been zoned in on was the career placement. So we have a lot of relationships that we've built over the years with like local unions, for example, so that our students, as they're going through their training, they're able to get access to, some jobs, and some local positions so that they can support themselves. But also, the majority of our students are working, whether full or part-time. So that's why we have our students, we have our classes in the evening, and we're able to be flexible around their schedule.
Very nice.
In addition to like the internship, making sure that, okay, what is the next step after you leave here? Our final module is a class on Entrepreneurship 101 that I teach. So I want to make sure if you're looking at entrepreneurship, we're going to give you the skills and the tools and the knowledge to do that.
All right. How would you compare the earning potential for an audio engineer to other, other like light and sound? What's the earning potential? I guess that's my real question.
Well, in general, it depends on like what area you go into. So, for example, if you're looking at going on tour, with a band. That's going to be one rate. If you're working at a concert venue, that's going to be a different rate. If you're going into business for yourself, that's going to be a different rate. In general, I would say the majority of our students start off in a position probably between the $30 to $40 an hour range. This is what I tell people, a very lucrative career to go into.
And it's expanding. Everybody want a podcast.
And it's expanding.
Everybody want a show.
And
Everybody, yeah.
Yes. And it's not just that. A lot of people talk about podcasting, but, the growth that we're seeing a lot of is in immersive audio.
Yeah.
So, for example, Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
When you go to a movie theater and they say Dolby Atmos. So we're one of the few studios that can record in Dolby Atmos. So we have this awesome space where students can learn the skills of tomorrow today.
So when you talk about Dolby Atmos, who's using that to record? Like, I know that's being done in Hollywood, but is there any local application for that?
For sure. So we work with local directors. So let's say they shoot a movie.
We the Tubi capital of the world, Robin.
I know. So yeah. So a director or producer would come to us, and we could do the post production for them in the studio.
Wow. So my son, it does film, and he's based in California. But I wonder if he could bring his audio to you. I know he struggled with that. He had an audio engineer who was who was diagnosed with cancer, went into the hospital, and it slowed things down. Finding somebody good is difficult. So, I mean, obviously one of your students, because you don't do that yourselves, but I don't know if there's a way to connect people like him to some of the people who graduated from your program.
For sure. And one thing I want to point out is we have the trade school where we're actually teaching audio engineers, but we're also open to the public as a recording studio. So we work on projects ranging from, Orlando, you mentioned podcasts, but also when the Van Gogh in Detroit exhibit came to the DIA,
oh, wow.
the audio that you heard in your headphones.
That was you
that
guys?
was recorded at. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Jinx. Because I went there,
Yeah, that was amazing.
Goodness. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so we work on a variety of projects, and that's what makes the school so special. Our students, yes, they're learning the technical skills, but they're also witnessing, and they're able to work on real projects.
That's amazing.
So is the class in September full? Is it full yet?
It is not full. We're still accepting applications.
Cool, so tell people how they can get to it, yeah.
Yes, you can go to aedetroit.com, and at the very top, there's a pop-up for the open house. If you're not able to attend the open house, there's a virtual tour on the main page as well. And then if you click on classes, you can see a link that says apply now.
All right, everybody. Robin Kinney of Audio Engineers of Detroit. Robin, thank you so much for coming on Authentically Detroit.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. We'll be right back. Have you ever dreamed of being on the airwaves? Well, the Authentically Detroit Podcast Network is here to make those dreams come true. Formerly known as the Deep Network and located inside the Stoudemire, the Authentically Detroit Podcast Network offers studio space and production staff to help get your idea off of the ground. Just visit authenticallydet.com and send a request through the contact page. All right, welcome back to Authentically Detroit. All right, it is time for shout-outs. It's been a full show today, Donna Givens-Davidson.
Yes.
All right, you got any shout-outs?
I got to shout out Kari Frazier.
Kari Frazier, man.
Kari, I had this warm feeling inside, and I was up on that stage, and I had a speaking role. Nobody heard anything I said, but it was a speaking role. The space was really loud.
Yeah, the gym doesn't.
But the gym didn't do credit to his vision.
Yeah.
It was the weather, like today's weather. Yeah. But it's such a great concept, and like you said, the way that he preserves our culture. Detroit is different. And I sent this to him. I said, Detroit is different because of Black people and our culture that you're preserving. And you're going to make sure that people remember why Detroit is different. So I admire him for his tenacity and his commitment to uplifting us. And I mean, people were coming in. It stayed busy. It was hot in there.
And
wasn't terribly comfortable. Couldn't really hear anything, but it was the vibe that was keeping people excited.
people didn't leave. I mean, people left, but folks were steadily coming in. I got a question for you. There's something really big happening this weekend, right?
Yes, the Eastside Community Network annual meeting and open house. And I'm excited about the annual meeting because it's always exciting to share what we're doing with the community. But I'm equally excited with the open house because this year we decided we were going to honor Black men who are sewing into our community. And we have a great roster of Black men showing up, hosted by none other than our own Orlando Bailey.
I'm excited.
Who's going to be pulling people together. You want to talk about who's going to be here?
Yeah, so we have Mamba, who is the co-founder and owner of Bob Up Fair. We have Jeff, who's the owner of Morningside Cafe. We have David Eladi from Citrus Partners. We also have Greg McKenzie from Akibalan Village. We have Stephen Welch, who is the vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion at the Detroit Pistons. And so these are not only leaders in the community, but they're leaders in their families, leaders in their homes. And they have children. I'm really, really excited to get into a conversation with them.
I think what excites me is also that they're leaders in different areas.
You
don't have people doing the same thing. And it just really shows that Black men show up in so many wonderful ways. Even as we tear down, I think every week there's a new documentary about a Black man gone bad on Netflix or on Tubi. It really makes me upset because we do such a great job chronicling failure. We also need to chronicle excellence, which is much more common than failure. So I want to thank you for helping me pull together the panel.
This is my jam. This is my pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to say this that I have the pleasure of calling each of these dudes a friend, and I really can't wait to get into the conversation with them. We're planning our pre-call now so we can show out for y'all on Saturday.
All right. And also we have a young person in our community, Jim Garner, Jimbo, who is going to be performing for us, and
nice.
It's Arlene Garner's son.
Yes. I downloaded his album.
Did you hear?
I didn't listen to it yet.
Is we still in Detroit?
She gave it to me on Saturday.
Goodness, it's so good. I played it for our interns. I think you're going to like it.
Okay.
And he's such a nice person. There's such a nice
right
family.
Here.
So I'm excited about that as well. We're going to have food trucks, all the good stuff. So yeah.
I'm excited. Oh, and we also want to shout out the primary election that's coming up. I think the next time we are here, it'll be the day before the election. So everybody, please, please, please go out and vote. You can early vote. You can use one of the drop boxes if you have an absentee ballot. Do not drop your absentee ballot in that drop box and then still try to vote on the day of. You can't do that. All right. August 5th is the primary. Go to many, many different places to figure out your primary polling location, outliermedia.org being one of them. Call 313-571-2800 if you need a ride to the polls. ECN is taking people to the polls. Let's show up and show out, Detroit.
Yep. And we're gonna have a watch party here. So come here for dinner, wear your I Voted sticker, and we're gonna have some conversations. I don't know who's gonna show up, but I always think it's worth a celebration. That I'm expecting there to be larger than normal turnout. I'm hoping there's going to be larger than normal turnout.
And you know what I hope you do at the watch party? I hope that you have it turned on to WDIV Local 4 because I will be live with the results on the primary day on WDIV Local 4.
I just want you to know we're going to end this way, but I just want you to know that we were talking about who we might get, and I said I think Orlando's too fancy for us to expect him here anymore. I think he might be on WDIV. I am so excited about you being in that role. You do such a great job commentating on politics, and you've always been a person who's been given a microphone to talk about things that are fun and interesting, but you have a lot of depth of knowledge that I don't think everybody has had the opportunity to experience. So you're showing out now.
Thank you, my friend. So be sure to tune in to the election coverage on WDIV. I will be on. So I'm excited about it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to love on your neighbor. We'll see you next time.